everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Imaginary Boys podcast. I am one of the two hosts, Mr. Habanero, and I have my secondary host, who is Mr. Lettuce. How are you doing, Mr. Lettuce?
Hey, how you doing, man?
For anybody who can't tell, I am still not feeling super amazing. I'm feeling better, but yeah. I might be a little out of it in this particular episode, and I apologize ahead of time.
This will be a low power. This will very much be a very fireside chat, low power, low key episode.
Yeah. For anybody, go for it.
For anybody who doesn't think that sounds like a good idea, you can get
Bruh.
now.
Yeah, I was about to say you can go yourself.
If you can't take if you can't take his, habanero at his conceived with a weak sperminist, you don't deserve me at my alpha chadness.
Yeah, man. So for anybody who's wondering what's going on, I mean, I feel like most people who listen to this know what's going on at this point, but I figure if this episode magically pops off and we get like 100 people in here, which has weirdly happened kind of before, with one episode. I got hit with COVID. And it's Omicron. This is like the second time I've caught it, basically.
And, well, the first time you had a COVID reaction to the vaccine.
The vaccine, yeah.
And then and don't know what to tell you, man. Corona-chan, she's definitely not kawaii desu.
Yeah, this is Corona-chan's hot twin sister, Miss Omicron-san.
She definitely does notice you, senpai.
Yeah, she's a harsh mistress.
Is she Tsundere or Yandere?
Yeah, something like that. She apparently missed the Do Not Want episode.
We did not mention Corona-chan in the Do Not Want, so I guess by that extent we said we'll let sit.
So, well, I mean, in context of like when I was like, I don't like it would be. I'm not a masochist, so, and I'd like to think Omicron-san is a sadist. So, let me tell you, she's not been kind to me at all. But yeah, so this is a low energy episode, and I apologize, but this is how I am. Is
because if I make too many funnies, I'll probably cause Habanero to pass out from laughing.
I'll stroke out.
I mean, no, stroking out is what I'll do afterwards.
Yeah, so I've basically been off from work since like late December, and I feel like I'm probably going to have to take another week off, and I'm sure my workplace is super not happy with me about that, but whatever. So yeah, and just kind of hanging out, and I've been playing Skyrim nonstop. For anybody who has noticed my Discord telling everybody that I've been playing Skyrim for 24 hours a day every single day for like 3 weeks. So with like 200 mods on it and boobies flying everywhere, and it's all right. It's one of those kind of vibes when you're really sick, and just like, yeah, let the sky boobies bounce off my face, please. And that's the life I'm living right now.
I have not been playing a lot of games. Saw a new trailer for Kirby.
There's a new Kirby trailer? I had no idea.
Yeah. I think it just dropped this morning. It looks I mean, there was a lot more on screen and a lot more happening.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't, just Kirby walking through a bunch of desolate, unfilled landscapes.
I vaguely recall during one of the Nintendo Directs, didn't they have, like, a 3D Kirby game they were working on? Is that what it was?
Yeah, that was the new Kirby trailer.
Oh,
Yeah, see,
okay.
the during the episode for the Nintendo Direct, the Nintendo Direct that had the Nintendo movie reveal,
Mhm.
they also showed a teaser trailer for the Kirby game, and your takeaway was it looked really barren and there was not a lot going on.
Mhm. Is that
And
different now?
my assertion was that Kirby games were always, you know, not hectic at all.
Mm.
And they've actually improved it. This trailer has stuff going on in it.
Neat, neat. I like that, man. I haven't played a Kirby game in, like, years, so it's been a very long time.
I
But I
might I might pick it up at
yeah.
some point. Like at some point if it goes bargain bin like almost every Kirby game does go. Um I have my copies of Pokemon Legend Arceus.
I was just about to say I saw some previews about that, and it looked kinda interesting. Have you actually played it yet, or
No, it doesn't come out till the 28th, but I've
Oh, you
pre-ordered.
pre-ordered.
Yeah, I
Okay.
pre-ordered mine and Xavier's copy.
Nice. I saw some previews and it looked really interesting. I kinda like how they're, I like the fact that it's not the stereotypical formula. Like, I mean, it's still got some pretty, basic same old Game Freak stuff, but, like, watching, like, the main character, like, dodge roll from, like, attacks and stuff like that, I was like, "Oh, finally, they're doing different things." Like, like, you, the player, are being attacked. It's not just your monsters being attacked, like, you're being attacked, and
Yeah.
you have to
Yeah,
survive and
the
shit.
Pokemon don't, come out of the tall grass and say, "Okay, whip out your paw, like throw out your ball.
Yeah.
Let me attack your pet, not you."
Yeah.
No, you come out across a Luxray and it don't like that you're there. It's gonna thunderbolt you.
Yeah. So that was something that I thought was kind of funny to think about was like, because I saw a preview where it was like, there was like a Growlithe and he was like shooting flames and like you had to run from it. And then like I saw like there was one where like a Snorlax is gonna jump up and like body slam you. And like, am I the only one that had thoughts that were like, dude, if that shit hits you, you're dead. Like there's no like
Yeah,
fainting. There's no like, recalling your Pokemon with a Pokeball. Man, if that Snorlax, which is like a 2-ton creature or whatever, if that thing
yeah,
jumps on your face, like you're dead. Like
yeah,
I don't know what like and they imply that like you'd get hit by these things, right? So like
yeah. Like if yeah, I wonder how they're gonna handle Snorlax just dropping on you from 10 feet above.
yeah, man. Well,
Like
like oh, go for it.
I was like, because the game is basically uh, a mod of a mod.
Oh,
Because I mean,
really?
if you look at the if you look at some of the UI stuff, especially like the in-game UI,
Mhm.
a lot of the Pokemon Legend Arceus UI looks like the Breath of the Wild UI.
Oh, interesting. Do you think they used
Yeah,
it as like a framework or something?
I mean, I mean, sorta at this point,
Yeah.
because the Divine Beast, the ride Pokemon powers
Yeah. Yeah.
look almost exactly like the icons for the Divine Beast powers from Breath of the Wild. So Pokemon Legend Arceus is a mod for Breath of the Wild, which is just a mod for Skyrim.
I like that. Okay. All right. Um, oh, there was something I was gonna say, and I'm trying to remember
Unfortunately,
what
it
it
doesn't look
was.
like there's a lot of multiplayer stuff for the game. We don't even know if there's trading in the game.
Oh.
Like that's how weird all this is.
Mhm.
Like there's we don't know if there's because there's some trade evolution Pokemon.
Sure.
We don't know if they have them, if they have any of them in the game, or if they do have trade. Wait, so no, there is a trade evolution Pokemon. We don't know if there's trading.
Mm.
We don't like. There's nothing in game that would make make trading relevant.
Hmm. Maybe it's like because I sometimes like while I've been sick, I've also still been playing like classic Yellow on the Game Boy
Hmm.
Color. And one of the things that I totally forgot about that I've been seeing is there are NPCs that will trade Pokemon to you that like evolve when they trade. And I was like thinking, well, if there's trade monsters in the new one, then maybe they'll do something like that, which is like they have NPCs that will just trade them the monsters you need that can only evolve through trading to you, you know? So, or maybe they'll introduce, because like let's face it, like the Arceus thing, they're basically like, oh, like you catch monsters but you have to like not get hit by them. So like maybe they're introducing other new mechanics or something where they're like, oh,
Oh,
well, like
there's
these.
a this game actually has a huge system overhaul. Um, there is a level 19 Pokemon with 100 hit points in one of the trailers. It's a level 16 or 19 Pokemon with 100 hit points.
Damn, Blissey, eat your heart out, huh?
Yeah. So we know right away
Mm-hmm.
that the EV/IV system that Pokemon has used pretty much the same one since Gen 3,
Mm-hmm.
save for Let's Go Eevee,
Mm-hmm.
is not in use in this game. Because
Man,
there's just no mechanical way that you get a level 19 Pokemon with 100 hit points.
that makes me think of Lance and his like cheating Dragonites. Do you remember that shit?
Yeah, hacks.
What a dick. There's something that my 12-year-old self has something to say to you, Lance. Go
Bruh.
yourself. You and
Yeah.
your three cheating Dragonites. Eat shit and die, bro.
So I'm actually kind of looking forward to the game. It
That's
looks a lot.
cool.
It looks a lot better than it did in the previews.
Mm.
My only complaint is that I kind like the Sword Shield generation.
Mhm.
I really loved a lot of the multiplayer stuff because there was good co-op,
Mhm.
and I didn't want that to be one and done about Pokemon.
Co-op is in like not battling, like actually like having somebody participate and help you in the game?
Yeah,
I didn't know that
yeah,
they did that. That's kind
yeah.
of cool.
You had dens that Pokemon dens that you would go into to fight a Gigantamax version of a Pokemon,
Mm.
and you could get you and up to four other people to go into a den with you,
That's cool.
and
I mean, I know
and part
nothing about Sword and Shield,
and
so.
like the best part of the game was was the den raids.
Mm. Okay.
That was because you get like four people together, and we would just take on a boss. Um, they had one that was a level 99. Like for 1 week, they did an event where there was an uncatchable level 99 Mewtwo,
Mhm.
and he was super difficult to take down unless you had like very specific teams. But then he became kind of a cakewalk.
Mm.
So that was and it was fun. Like I never had I never had the specific team, but I would get like four people, me, Pink, Maz, and my kid. We'd all just jump into Mewtwo dens and fight Mewtwo's,
That's kind of cool.
and
Mewtwo's
we'd have like a 60% success rate on it.
That's pretty cool. Mewtwo's rad, man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, just like I said, like I was every once in a while kind of popping in on old school Yellow version on the Game Boy, and it's just like, man, there's something about like the original 150 on like the original like games that is just like, it's unforgettable. Like it's actually kind of funny because in Yellow version, like they force you to have Pikachu, but like I don't know if you know this, but in the old game mechanics of like red, blue, and yellow, like back before they revamped the entire like stat system and everything, Pikachu was broken, dude. Pikachu is so strong in like yellow version. It's stupid. He's like, because in the old school games, the speed stat is broken. It's like the most broken stat in the entire game. And because so in yellow version, well, red, blue, and yellow, speed dictates evasion.
Right.
So like if you have like high speed, like crazy stupid high speed, nothing can hit you. So like Pikachu has like one of the highest speed stats in the game next to I think like Diglett and like Voltorb or something like that. I think or and Jolteon, I guess.
Yeah, Jolteon was the speed demon.
Mhm.
Jolteon was the Eevee evolution you wanted because
It was
he
untouchable.
he was a glass cannon, but he also was untouchable.
Yeah. Um so but like Pikachu is like right up there. Like Pikachu is so stupid bonkers powerful. Like and the thing is too is like there's like a bunch of moves that just like are not very good anymore, but were like broken in red, blue, and yellow. And one of those was double team, which like raises your like speed and evasion by like one stage, but it's like when you have something like Jolteon or Pikachu using, you know, freaking double team in the old school rules set, like it's just at that point, like nothing can touch you. It's kind of rad.
Yeah,
So it just makes me kind of sad that like Pikachu's not very good anymore. So but it's really cool when you go back and you play the old games and you realize once upon a time Pikachu was like a legitimate force to be reckoned with.
I mean that's what made Pikachu so popular.
Yeah.
If you know current gen Pikachu was what Pikachu always was,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
no one would give a shit about Pikachu.
Yeah. It's actually kind of funny. Did you know that Clefairy was originally supposed to be the Pokemon for the mascot for Pokemon?
Yep.
Yeah, I always thought that was really crazy. In an
Yep.
alternate universe, Clefairy's the real mascot.
But Pikachu was cuter and far more useful,
hmm
or at
That's
least
true.
or at least for
That's
the first two
true.
games.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think of it that way. Clefairy's not very good.
No, not in the least.
Oh, and another thing that I thought was really interesting was when Clefairy was the original mascot, which came from the manga series, which came before the anime series. So apparently, you know how like in the Pokemon animation, they have like the Jigglypuff that runs around and like uses Sharpie to like draw on people's faces and stuff.
Yeah, when they fall asleep.
Yeah. So apparently that was the Clefairy shtick. So like the Clefairy mascot from the original manga used to draw on people's faces. And like it was the whole thing where it would use sing and like draw on people's faces and stuff like that. And they thought that that was so funny and cute that, and they didn't have the Clefairy mascot anymore, but they were like, let's just go ahead and throw in a Jigglypuff and make the Jigglypuff do what the Clefairy did. That was so funny. So,
Jigglypuff, Jigglypuff.
dude, in the yellow game, there's a Pokemon Center with a Jigglypuff, and it actually sings the song. It's kind of funny. Uh, oh well. I do kind of miss like the Pokemon games, but I also don't think I'm like ready to. I mean, I don't even own a Nintendo Switch, and I don't think I'd even if I did, I don't think I'd want to get back into Pokemon. I think I'm good. I'll just hear your reviews and what you got to say about
I don't know.
it.
I honestly do think you would probably get a kick out of Sword and Shield if you had
Yeah,
access to it.
maybe. I don't know. I just uh doesn't hit the same way for me anymore, I guess. Like I barely even like when I keep talking about how I'm playing Yellow on my Game Boy.
Mm-hmm.
I've it's when I'm sick in the bathroom. Like that's when I'm playing yellow.
Yeah. If
You
you're
know what I mean?
if you're hunched over, if you're just doubled over, like just dropping,
Yeah. Yeah.
just draining your innards, your liquefied innards into the toilet. You got to do something. So you take your Game Boy in with you,
Yeah.
and
I'm like in there for an hour, man. Let me level up my Pikachu like 5 times.
yeah, I'm just gonna do this here grind for a little bit.
So, yeah, but that's my point is like, if I'm out here being sick, like I'm not really playing Pokemon. I'm like watching boobies flop around on Skyrim, but like if I'm in the bathroom, like that's the perfect time to whip out the Game Boy and play some yellow or whatever. So I don't know if I'd be able to I don't know if I'd be able to dedicate the same amount of concentration to like any of the newer Pokemon games. Like back when I used to play Black and White, I was like semi-competitive. I used to like actually build competitive teams, and I was really, really into it.
Oh yeah,
And
building competitive teams is dirt easy, and
yeah,
like breeding, as long as you know somebody who has a spare high IV Ditto.
yeah, 6 out of 6 shiny
Yeah, yes.
and
The
Japanese.
yeah, the Japanese 6/6 Ditto.
Hmm. I
Yeah, just throw that in. Just throw that in the thing, and whenever you want to duplicate a Pokemon, whenever you want to duplicate a high IV Pokemon,
hmm
just keep generating it, just generating them out, and then once you've got a 5/6 Pokemon, because that's the best you could do breeding,
yeah,
then you just stuff it vitamins until you could change its demeanor, you can and feed it vitamins to give it whatever stat set you want,
yeah, man. Yeah, I used to do that. I used to do that kind
and
of
then feed
stuff.
it candy to level it to 40, and then boom, you've
Hmm.
got a competitive level Pokemon.
Yeah, I used
Like
to be.
it was almost nothing for me to create competitive teams.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah, back
that
in
was one of the things, that was one of the things, like one of the big shocks from Gen 8 was just how easy it was to have a tower team that didn't scream I'm a filthy casual.
yeah, man. Yeah. Well, it's funny because you go back to like the older stuff, and like especially like when I was playing through Emerald and stuff like that, man, trying to build any form of competitive team whatsoever is like
It was
it's just impossible.
it's a grind.
It's impossible. Like you have to really dedicate to that. And I mean, when I say dedicate, I'm not like I'm like talking about like you're spending like a year working on a singular competitive team for like a generation 3 game.
Yeah, like
Stupid.
yeah, you're spending multiple days grinding a Pokemon that you can get to where you want, to where you can to where you can level it to 50 and have it where you want to be.
Yeah.
Like, and that's just for one Pokemon. You spend like 2 full days, like no eating, no sleeping, no shitting,
Yeah, man.
just like 72 hours of just nothing but Pokemans
The first time,
to come up with
yeah.
come up with one level 50 Pokemon with the HMs, and then hope you have the proper technical manuals,
Yeah.
because then you got to find those.
Platinum. Platinum version was the first game where I ever built a full-blown hardcore competitive team for the purpose of fighting online. And I remember because I built it around the first Pokemon I ever built for competitive purposes. I'll never forget it. Was and it'll make you laugh so hard. It was a Cradilly. Do you remember? You remember Cradilly?
Not
The
especially now.
well, exactly. It's the generation 3 fossil that's grass and rock type. And um, this was around the time when I finally realized that stallers were like one of the best ways to like really play a good competitive team. So I built I managed to make my first ever 5 out of 6 IV Credilli, and it had like I think like toxic and spike. I think it had like toxic and spikes, and it had recover, which was like an egg move, and that took me a long time to get.
Oh
And
yeah,
yeah,
egg moves are pretty much the only thing that's even a remote challenge anymore.
yeah. And I can't remember what its fourth move was, but I remember, and I remember being so proud of myself. I was like, "Yeah, this is my first ever real competitive monster." And then I remember because I built I also had a Tyranitar in there, and like I had some other stuff, but I was so proud of that Cradilly, dude. I named it Snagglepuss. Good old Snagglepuss, man.
I mean, sure, you're not going to be able to play Arceus or Sword and Shield,
Mm-hmm.
but there's always Pal World.
Oh my god! when is that game coming out? Do we even know anymore? Is there?
It's generic 2022,
Oh,
but there's not been an update in a while. So
mm-hmm.
and
Oh man,
and to be perfectly honest, there's no way the Pokemon Company lets this game release.
I don't know, man.
There
What?
is there is no way that the Pokemon Company lets this game release.
I don't. It's got like I don't know. I mean, it's already. I literally just brought up Steam so I could like find it real quick. I feel like it's coming. I really do. I don't think it's gonna. I think it's gonna be here. Like I mean, I've got it on my wish list and everything. Like, hold on, let's see if I still have it. Oh my god, there's so many games in here that I forgot that I have on my wish list. Where is it? Where are you, Pal World? I want you so bad. Your guns and your monsters and your slavery stuff. There it is, Pal World. Don't you play. Yeah, planned release date 2022. Looks like that's it. I don't have much info in here about
And
it.
there hasn't been anything released on the game. I've been watching.
Yeah.
There's not been anything released on this game since E3.
There's like a gif here of like the main character shooting a monster with a sniper rifle. Oh my god, I love it. I want this game so bad. Just like that one image of the sniper rifle shooting down the monster is just so like that's everything I want. It's everything I want, Lettuce. Oh my god. It's so good. And then like the character riding on the flying monster with the AK-47. It's so good. I want this game to happen so bad.
I mean, I want it to happen too, but
Mm.
I'm
I've got
also I also just there's no way there's no way like the game can happen.
but like it's not affiliated with Nintendo, so like how would Nintendo have a
Well,
say in it?
they're gonna look at a lot of the Pokemon and be like, this right here is an Electabuzz. The thing you use as a chest high wall for cover shooting.
Yeah.
And they're like, this is obviously an Electabuzz.
If I remember correctly, the thing looked like Totoro, My Neighbor Totoro, didn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
So I mean, like,
Like, and then
does that mean
go into this.
Ghibli's gonna sue them too?
I mean, they probably should. Um, and then they're gonna look at this. They're gonna show the serpent monster, and they're gonna be like, "This is obviously Gyarados."
I mean, I don't know.
And then they're gonna look at the dragon monster, and they're gonna be like, "This is obviously Charizard." And then they're gonna show them, Boinkin and be like, this is obvious, and this is obviously an abomination that can't stand.
I don't know. I don't think that Nintendo can do anything about it. I don't think they can.
Okay, they can.
How so? Like, are
Just
they just
just the threat of a lawsuit
yeah?
against an independent developer that has to recognize that they have a point.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know
And
what?
it'll be really expensive to fight this in court.
Yeah.
So I mean, Nintendo can do what any other big company will do when somebody does something that they don't want. Uh, they'll litigate the snot out of it.
Yeah.
And make it and make it just financially insolvent.
Well, I mean they have a whole year to try and figure it out, right? So I mean,
Yeah, I think
maybe
the
at
only
the end of
reason
the
I'm pretty sure the only reason why Nintendo hasn't bothered to sue about this is because they haven't issued a release date. I think the second that there's a real release date on this,
mm-hmm.
Nintendo's like, yeah, about that.
I don't know. I have faith. I'm holding faith in Pal World.
I mean, I have faith in Power World too. I also have faith in Nintendo doing Nintendo things because Nintendo likes doing Nintendo things. And this one I can't be. The thing is like this one I can't be too mad at.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no way it's in Nintendo's best interest for this to sit.
Mm. I guess it just kind of depends.
It does absolutely nothing to help the Pokemon. It does absolutely nothing to help Nintendo and the Pokemon Company.
Yeah, but like, it's like the only thing I can think of is the fact that it's like, but it's not Pokemon. It's Pal World.
Yeah,
You
I
know.
mean it's not Pokemon. Yeah, those aren't Pokemon. They're very Pokemon like. And Nintendo
Yeah,
has
but so
sued
is
similar.
Digimon and Monster Rancher. You know, like.
Okay, so the Digimon looked and felt very different.
Well, what about Monster Rancher?
I'm not that familiar. I'm not to be perfectly honest. I'm not that familiar with Monster Rancher, so I can't say either way.
Yeah.
But Digimon looked very, very, very like CG,
But
like
they did.
very digi,
Yeah, but like they
and
did the whole like.
not cutesy.
But it's all like evolution and stuff. Well, wait a minute. Are you trying to tell me that what's his name? Is it Palmon, the little orange dinosaur? You don't think that guy's cute? He's adorable. Was it Palmon? I think Palmon was like the little bunny guy, maybe.
I mean, sure, but he's cute in a very digital cyber kind of way.
Oh, Palmon was the plant. He's the little plant monster.
I know what you're talking about. You're talking about their Charizard replacement.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I remember he turned into like Neo Greymon or something like that.
yeah,
But
no, I know who you're talking about. You're talking about the Charmander, Charizard.
yeah,
Like, but the thing is like,
Agumon. It's Agumon. And I was right. He turns into like Metal Greymon.
right,
Yeah,
yeah, uh,
Agumon was cute, man. He was like the Pikachu of Digimon.
right, but he still was very rooted in a cyber computer generated kind of design ethos, and
He's
not
literally just a little lizard. What do you mean?
he's a very computerized looking lizard.
He's a little lizard. You look up a picture of Agumon, and you tell me that little adorable lizard is digital. Gabumon. Oh my god, man, this is taking me back to my childhood. I
How
used
do you
to
spell
watch
that again?
Agumon.
Agumon.
Yeah, it's Agumon. He's a little lizard
Okay.
guy. He's like a little T-Rex. He's adorable.
Okay, so yeah, he looks incredibly digital.
No, he doesn't. He looks like a little orange lizard. What's digital about a little orange lizard?
It looks like a very computerized orange lizard. Now in the cartoon, sure, but in like any other, depiction, uh, his eyes have a very CG feel to them. Uh, like, I mean, granted, he looks exactly like the love child of a Garchomp and a Charmander.
You saw that picture too, where they
Yeah,
showed
like
Garchomp
I
and
said,
Charmander.
I was like looking at it like, oh no, that
Yeah.
actually does make sense. But no, like very digital and uh
Well, they
like
literally
and the thing,
evolved too.
right? But they don't own you don't own a copyright on evolution. Because if Pokemon owned a copy of Evolution, we wouldn't be able to make dick people in a spore.
That's the go-to you go for.
Yeah, that was the example I went. That was the you know me.
Right.
I love my obscure examples. Who here played Spore?
I played a little bit of Spore. God, I
And
wish
what
you
was
could
the
remember
first?
the name of the
And,
little bat creature.
and what was the first thing you did on Spore?
Make a little worm.
A little phallusy-looking worm that had little nubbins for legs on the back end,
What was the
and then he stood upright and looked like a massive phallus with like legs with like beefy legs coming out of his scrotes.
You don't know me and my ways.
Oh come
You
on,
don't
dude.
you don't know the ways of a how old was I when I played that game? Like 16? Is that when
Yeah, I
Spore
mean,
came
because
out?
you did the same thing. You did the same thing 26-year-old Rob did when he got a hold of Spore. Don't die.
I'm good. I'm good. Um man. Ugh. I don't know. I overall though, I just don't think that I don't know. I don't think
This
that Nintendo
this
would have a
cuts
real leg to stand on.
this cuts real like out of all the Pokemon clones that came out from the Pokemon popularity,
Mhm.
like, and a lot of them stood, a lot of them didn't stand. This thing looks this is about as close to a like complete ripoff. And I've seen some mobile games that lasted all of 2 weeks because Game Freak's like, what are you doing? Yeah, we've got Pokemon Go. You can't do this shit anymore.
It makes me think of the like because I do know what you're talking about, like the what was it? The modders community for Pokemon games.
Mm-hmm.
When there was like a really big modded game, and I was actually part of the community when it was coming out, so I was like right in the forefront of all of this. There was a huge mod game coming out. It wasn't Liquid Crystal. I played Liquid Crystal, and that game was like, by the way, if anybody's ever played, I don't think you can get it anymore because of what I'm talking about right now. But there was a modded game called Liquid Crystal, and that was like one of the best Pokemon games I've ever played in my entire life. It was a modded hack game of Crystal version where they just basically, you know, just made one of the best Pokemon games ever made. And I don't think you can get it anymore because pretty much there was a big um, there's a big Pokemon mod game that was coming out, and it was a ROM hack, and it was huge, and it had a lot of work put into it. It was basically like the second coming of like Liquid Crystal, pretty much, which is why I was looking forward to it so much. And I just can't think of the name of it right now, but um, I want to say it was called like Pokemon Colors or something like that. And it was a big one. And then right like when they released it, Nintendo was just like, nope, shut it all down. Like shut down like all of the websites that are hosting it. sue the creator of it, like, just make it so that nobody has any control or access over it whatsoever. Nobody's allowed to play this game, and they shut it down from like every way possible. And then on top of that, they attacked a bunch of other ROM hacks in the process as well. Like I remember there was a website I used to go on to. I think it was called like Emu Paradise, and
Yeah.
Emu Paradise got shut down around that same time. And that was a website I used heavily back in the day. I mean, obviously I don't anymore. But Emu Paradise was like my primary go-to for playing like ROM hacks of all sorts of different things, like tons and tons of things. And Nintendo was just like, nope, like no more of this. Like we're over it, So they do things like that, and I do believe it. But it's when I've seen stuff like that, it's because they're uh, like they're literally, it's the distribution of their games for free. Because in order to make a ROM hack, you have to have the ROM, and usually people would rather, it's much simpler to just go on and
And
like,
download the hacked ROM.
yeah, you have to get first you have to have the emulator, and it's not illegal to have an emulator.
Right.
So you can get the emulator for free with no problems or legal issues. And then where you run into problems is when you get the ROM. So, and then you have to have the ROM for the emulator to be able to run the hack on the ROM. So a lot of the time it's like not even the hacks necessarily that are even the problem. It's the distribution of the ROMs, which are basically, freely distributing pirated content of Nintendo.
Right.
And turns out they're not too happy about that.
Wait, no.
They don't like that.
Nintendo does not like of the piracy.
Yeah, they're not big fans of that. Go figure.
But I mean, nobody likes the piracy.
Yeah, I don't.
A bunch of Twitch streamers got banned for the piracies.
Oh my god, are you talking about the really stupid like DMCA stuff that's going on Twitch?
Yeah, people are just straight up like co-watching like full anime episodes, and they were like, "Why is my account getting banned?" And I'm like, "Cause you're stealing content, you Riri."
Yeah. The thing that's really like, I got so mad about that because like well, I mean, I'm not super mad about it. It doesn't really deeply affect me that much.
Right.
But the thing that really annoyed me about it was it's a combination of things. Is that like, it's, first of all, they're
It's
like, we're trying to open up conversation about DMCA, and it's like, no, you're not.
you're trying to make money. You're trying to make money pirating
Yeah,
anime off of Crunchyroll,
you're straight up violating all over the place. Like, that's what you're doing.
and all they're doing is harming smaller creators who are actually trying to start a conversation,
Yeah.
like you, who kept getting your anime reviews taken down
Yeah.
because these Japanese companies have to DMCA everything
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
by
And then
default.
the other thing that made me really mad about it too is that um like, part of it is they're claiming that they did it on purpose with the intention of getting banned, because by the way, I am so sick and tired of Twitch calling calling these things bans, because
Yeah,
they're not bans, they're
they're timeouts.
suspensions. They're
They're
suspensions.
timeouts.
Yeah. And like what really is disgusting is that they're getting these quote unquote bans where they either are gone for 2 days or they're gone for a month. And then they know that it's basically a vacation, because like the idea is like, like these Twitch streamers that are these big ones, like they can't just simply, be like, hey, I need a few days off, see ya. They have to like be forced to take days off. And also the process of being forced to take days off through like a ban is creating up like a drama and controversy, which means that more people become involved and are interested, which means more people are talking about them, giving them more clout. And then when they come back like 2 days or a month later, their stream is popping off 10 times more than usual because of all the bullshit that they stirred up in the first place.
Yeah.
They're being rewarded for doing illegal shit. Like, it's stupid.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. Like, and it's like I don't know. I think it's pretty gross.
Oh well.
Yeah. I mean, I think Twitch just needs to actually ban people, but they're not going to ban their moneymakers, so I don't even know why I'm trying to say anything about it.
Yeah, this is the drum that we've always been beating.
Yeah. They should the least they could do, you know what? Here, I'll level with them, okay? Just call it a suspension. If you could just please just like I'll forgive everything if you could just actually call it what it is. Please. I'm so tired cuz
Yeah.
like
We just want proper syntax, for crying out loud.
yeah, just use the correct vernacular at the very least, okay? Like,
We're suspending them. They'll complain about this. We're suspending them. We're forcing them to take a week off.
yeah.
They won't. They won't be able to make any money that week, except for somehow they still do.
Yeah, well, it's multiple sources of revenue a lot of the time.
Right, and then they come
And
back, and because of the Streisand effect, that their account's like 3% bigger.
yeah. It's just really gross because it's like it's clearly taking advantage of a broken system, and it's also harming everybody below them. And like they basically can't lose, you know? Like it doesn't it can't punish them. It can't actually punish them. So it's just like it's literally like I don't know. It's just it's it's disgusting. So I hope that they I don't
I
like to
hope
wish bad things on people, but
I hope they die in a fire.
thank you. Surrounded
You
by
won't do
burning
it.
shrubberies.
Are you don't like wishing ill on other people? I'm at this point where I'm like, I'll say what you don't want to say just because I honestly just give no fuck.
Bruh.
It's like
So for you, because you're a sweet person and I'm kind of a dick, I will wish upon them burning in a fire.
okay. Yeah. It's just yeah. I mean, and it's like yeah. Cuz I mean, they have to be smart enough to realize what they're doing. Like I mean, it's totally possible that they're actually really dumb, you know? I guess that's always a possibility. But it's
No,
like
no. I I'm sorry.
they
Like
probably know exactly what they're doing, and they probably know that they're punishing everybody except themselves, and they know that nobody's going to profit from it except for themselves. You know what I mean? And that's really
right.
gross. Like that's
Well, I
legitimately
mean,
disgusting.
like you might be like they might have been able to feign ignorance uh like a few years ago
Yeah.
when this was all kind of shiny and new. But this is all base level shit at this point.
Yeah.
If anybody's been in the game for more than 3 minutes, they know how it's played.
Yeah. And it's gross because it's a system that only the successful ones can take advantage of.
Right.
So it's gross.
It is.
And
I've
what's
got a new
really
game. I've got a new game I'm actually kind of excited about. I'd have to
yeah,
decide to pull the
let's
trigger
move
on.
on. Let's move on from this stupid subject.
Yeah, this
What game are
because
you playing?
this conversation was about to get sad and boring.
Yeah. What game are you playing?
Uh an Artful Escape, or The Artful Escape.
That title sounds familiar to me.
It's an indie game. It's about $20 on Steam,
Okay.
and it's kind of a uh, low gameplay value kind of walking simulator, except for the walking simulator is more of a performative, like free roaming rock out simulator.
Okay.
and the story is supposed to be like really good on it. Like everybody I've heard is like the gameplay's crap. It's basically holding right and occasionally playing the easiest game of Simon Says you've ever played.
I swear I've heard of this game. I'm looking it up real quick.
Yeah, The Artful Escape.
$20. Let's see. Oh, please don't play your trailer, even though I have you on mute.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is probably what I'm going to end up doing after I get off the podcast,
Okay.
because you know we're going to probably be able to end this before, like 2:00 in the morning.
Okay.
Unless you just want to do like a 3-hour podcast,
No,
like with
no, I'm good.
with your sick ass.
Yeah, and then I'll never edit it. And then it'll just it'll never be released.
You know that 3-hour conversation you recorded?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just gonna sit there and I'm gonna look at it funny.
Oh man. I mean, you know, like I mean, if it got really bad, I could just like edit out things, but it's like I was telling you earlier, it's like whenever whatever the time limit is on something that I'm editing, it's like multiply that by 3 or 5, and that's how long it takes me to edit it.
What is the editing hurdle for you outside of broing all my F-bombs?
Like what takes me the most time, or like
Yeah,
what's
like what is your what's your biggest challenge in all of this?
Usually,
Because for audio only,
yeah.
3x does seem a little excessive.
So
Usually, I mean, I know you're throwing a video loop
no,
on top of it.
that doesn't take me much time at all, to be honest.
I didn't think a video loop would.
It used to take me forever to do the video loop until I figured out how to do it correctly.
Oh, okay.
But what usually takes me the most amount of time is because I have to listen to the whole thing, and then I'm pausing, and usually it's pausing and cutting out dead air, or
You know, Audacity has a tool that does that.
I don't use Audacity. I've never.
Okay. Oh, that's right. I don't know what tool your tool doesn't have a plugin that like kills dead air.
I don't know. I've never tried it before, and I don't know if I actually have one or not.
Oh, okay.
I use usually when I'm editing the podcast, I usually use Shotcut. Like if I'm doing complex video footage, like with actual video footage, I'll use Adobe.
Right.
But if I'm using if I'm doing the podcast, I'll just use Shotcut.
Actually, I don't think Audacity is a thing anymore, or at least I heard something like that last year. But no, when I was doing my old Magic podcast, removing my like it would take me on a 1-hour podcast, it would take me I also didn't have to cut out I didn't cut out anybody's swears. So I didn't actually have to actively listen to it. Or at least not, you know, at 1-for-1 speed. I would listen to it at 2x speed to make sure nothing sounded funny. The most involving thing that I did was I included like 2 music interludes. Because I broke up the records into three chunks, and then through interludes into the like did fade in fades out, and then threw interludes in there. Just so if somebody's watching the waveform, they knew like where the next section was. So if we had a section they didn't like, they could kind of guess where the section ended.
Okay.
But that was the most involving thing I did. But I wouldn't. But publishing a like editing and publishing my old podcast wouldn't take more than like we recorded for like an hour.
Mhm.
Wouldn't take more than like 90 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, well, I mean, so first of all, I'm not exactly the greatest editor of all time. I mean, I try, but um and I don't know. Cuz I usually like I am usually working on it all night. Like I'm not lying or exaggerating about that. But a lot of it is because like I have to like pause and then be like, okay, well this section has to come out, or I'll have to
He dropped another F bomb here.
yeah. That's usually not so bad, to be honest. I mean, it takes a little bit of extra time to bleep stuff out, but it's usually not that bad. But a lot of it is just listening to it and then trying to figure out like what pauses are okay to keep in and like what pauses are too long.
Oh yeah, no, the dead air plugin was great.
Mhm.
Like anything after, like if anything was more than like a second and a half,
Mhm.
it cut to where it was no more than 2 seconds.
Mhm. Yeah. Also, sometimes what I have to do is we will be like both of us do this. So it's not like it's any specific person's fault. Is we will start a sentence, but then we will not be sure how to like say it. So we'll say the same three words like two or three times. So I'll have to like cut that stuff out too sometimes.
Oh, okay.
Or I'll merge like sentences together that have like awkward word strings in between them. So like I'll have to like be like, okay, this is the beginning of a sentence, and then we say this, that, and then continue the sentence, and then I'll take
Oh
that
wow,
one
you deep
portion.
dive.
Yeah, I'll take that one portion out and
Oh,
then merge the two sentences together to sound
man,
like a coherent thought.
you perfectionist edit.
Dude, in the very beginning of the podcast, it was way worse. I, like in the very beginning of the podcast, like the first like 4 or 5 episodes, I think it was like the first like few, I tried to cut out as many ums and ahs as possible.
Oh.
And yeah. um
Oh man, that was a fool's errand.
yeah, I gave up on that. I mean, there are some times where like I said, if it's a really long or ah, or like there's like three or four of them together, I'll cut that out. But if it's like one and then right back into the sentence, then I'll just leave it in. I don't give a shit, you know. But little behind the scenes for the folks here.
Yes, this is how the sausage is made.
Yeah, yeah.
Now put it in. Now put it in your mouth.
um, but yeah. So I mean, it probably takes me a little bit longer than most editors. I want to get better, but um, you know, it's a work in process, and
Okay. Well, now I know to be a little what a bit more conscious about.
oh, it's all good. I
No, no, no,
also
no, no. No, like I'm probably not going to be that much better, but I'll try to make a small
yeah.
effort.
Well, a thing is too is like I don't like to bring that stuff up all the time because I don't want to make you super paranoid about that stuff because then I feel like what we're talking about won't come as natural. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no, no.
Like I don't want you to be worried about how you're speaking and then
Oh, I
sound
wouldn't be.
robotic, you know?
I wouldn't be, but
That's
uh,
why I try not to complain about the whole process that often because I'm worried that it would ruin our speech patterns or something.
no. I mean, right on, right on, because it would. I'd get up all in my head, and
Yeah, I don't want you doing that, buddy. So don't even worry too much about it. Um, yeah, uh, yeah. It's just because like I like the idea of keeping it fun and casual. Because I mean, I always think that the best podcasts, like because I listen to a lot of podcasts, and my favorite podcasts are the ones where it's literally just a couple of dudes hanging out. Like that's a lot of the podcasts that I watch and listen to is they're just a bunch of dudes who are friends and they just chat about whatever the hell they feel like. And a lot of it, I mean, admittedly, like some of them speak really well, and that just comes natural to them. But I there are some that I listen to where they do say and ah a lot, but it's still a lot of fun for them because they're talking about whatever they feel like and they're having a good time. And that's the kind of vibe that I want to have here is just we're having fun and relaxing, and sometimes we say stupid silly shit and it just works out, and sometimes we talk about people sitting on our faces and it's great. So I don't want to ruin
Yeah, no.
that. So yeah, man.
Speaking of face sitting,
Mhm.
poor Betty White.
Yeah, man.
She'll
Yeah.
never know. She'll never know what it's like to get a Mr. Lettuce mustache ride.
I was thinking,
Rest in peace, you sweet, sweet, sweet woman.
yeah. Yeah, it's weird, because I don't consume a lot of Betty White content, but it's
I mean,
like,
she is a national treasure.
yeah. Well, because I think of like a lot of like the famous things that she said that went around on the internet for a while. And like just like her photo in general of like, just her smiling face all the time. And it's like, I didn't consume a lot of content that was Betty White oriented, but I can definitely recall a lot of things that involved her specifically.
That warm smile, you still see it.
Hmm. That sexy centerfold from like the 40s.
I don't even. The thing is like I don't even like. I know that existed,
Yeah.
and like, and yeah, young Betty White was like incredibly hot,
Yeah, she was.
but like she never existed that way for me because I got 1980s Betty White.
Yeah, I found out about that photo at a relatively young age, actually. The centerfold picture. I mean, I definitely knew about Golden Girls way before that. Um, but I think I was like either a teenager or just beginning into college when I don't remember. It was either on the internet or it was involved with my friends. And they were like, guys, did you know that like Betty White was a centerfold? And like it was like there's got to be a photo, and it's like, all right, let's go look for a photo, and you'd find it, and it was just like mind-blowing. And then ever since that point I always think of that, like like it's the idea of like, oh yeah, like adorable little Betty White, like check it out, here's a centerfold, and you're just like, holy shit. Like, and that was kind of like a really, as weird as it may sound, that was a memorable thing for me for quite some time. So I mean, it's not like I'm thinking about it all the time or looking at it all the time, but whenever I think of Betty White, that is something that actually pops into my mind pretty quickly. It's like, yeah, she was once upon a time a centerfold and she looked damn good. So, but yeah, um, it's really sad that she didn't make it to 100 because that would have been amazing. And it was, she was looking forward to it. Like, she was actually posting on Twitter and stuff like
Oh,
that.
she was gonna have a blowout, man,
Yeah,
and rightfully so.
she was an active Twitter user before she passed away, and which is really surprisingly interesting considering how old she is. Like you don't see a lot of like really old people not only using Twitter, but on top of that, being really savvy with it and being frequent on it. And she was posting on Twitter and stuff and talking about how excited she was to get to her 100th birthday. And um, I mean, I assume also that it was probably there was somebody who was managing her Twitter, but the idea that she was like, actively having somebody post stuff that she was interested in on it to keep frequent with it was really interesting. So, but yeah. And then also, Bob Saget passed away, which is Oh, I think that's my neighbors. I don't know if anybody could hear that, but there was some weird music playing in the background. I was like,
I
"What the
heard like
hell
a
is that?"
frog. I like heard something sound like a frog croak. I thought it was my belly.
I think that was my belly, actually. So I felt a rumble in my tummy just a second ago.
Got a rumbly in your tumbly. Time for
Yeah.
something sweet.
Mm. I probably will eat something sweet, even though I should.
Do it, man. Get
Yeah.
you some coffee.
I have not had coffee in a few hours. Like I've been
Can you
for anybody.
taste? Can you still taste coffee?
I can a little bit, especially
Oh,
when I
okay.
put like chocolate in it. Um,
Okay. Okay. See, that was the thing I was concerned about because you're kind of a coffee snob, and I was like, oh my god, he got COVID. Oh my god, he's gonna not be able to taste coffee.
I can't smell it, but I can taste it a little bit.
Oh,
Yeah.
my girlfriend still doesn't have like a lot like lot. She lost her sense, like a lot of her sense of smell,
Hmm. I'll admit that, like,
and a lot of her taste. Well, a lot of your taste bud, a lot of your sense of taste is linked to your sense of smell.
yeah, I'll admit
So,
that I can't really smell it when I'm brewing it, but I can definitely taste it. Like, I mean, it's not as strong, but
and
um,
apparently now they're talking about cannabis helps protect you from Omicron.
oh man, I miss smoking so bad, lettuce, so bad. I don't.
It's not good for you.
I know, but I miss it so bad. I like, and I'm talking about herb. I'm not talking about cigarette. I do kind of. I'll admit, I actually do miss smoking cigarettes a little bit, but
I
um,
could I could really go for like a nice stogie and a glass of whiskey.
dude, I would love to smoke cigars with you, lettuce. Straight up, I would love to smoke a cigar with
We'll
you
have to do we'll have to do that sometime.
someday.
Someday I'll uh I'll drive down there. We'll hit up like the local pretentious cigar shop. Buy buy like the ungodly expensive.
I don't even know if we have a cigar shop where I live. Um, I'll have
Oh,
to
I'm pretty
look
sure you
that
have
up.
like one the next town over. I'll drive.
Oh, dude, there used to be this amazing like smoke shop like near my area. It was great, and they sold cigars, and used to sell my favorite tobacco, which was an import, and it was like the only tobacco I loved smoking. And it was have you ever heard of a tobacco? It's a loose leaf called Bali Shag. Have you ever heard of that?
Yep.
That was my favorite. That was my jam. That was the only kind of tobacco I liked to smoke. And it was a smoke shop, and they had cigars, and they sold Bali Shag, and I loved going there. And they went out of business, like I think like a few years ago. Made me really sad, and because I used to also buy all of my herbal accessories from that place too. And now I don't have a place that sells Bali Shag anymore, and I don't have like a place that sells herbal accessories anymore, and it makes me really sad. Um,
I
but
quit smoking because the cigarettes I or cigars and cigarettes I used to smoke became illegal, or they had to make a bunch of changes to them to classify them as cigarellos.
mhm. Were they like Cubans or something?
No, cloves. I used to smoke unfiltered Jarm specials.
I've never smoked cloves before. I don't know what that's like. Um, but yeah, I miss smoking so bad, specifically of the herbal kind. Um, I don't have any people that can like sell me goodies right now, and I was really feeling it especially when I was like really hitting hard with like COVID. I was like, oh my god, I just want like to smoke a joint or something, and I couldn't like I was like I don't have. First of all, I'm not going to be able to convince anybody who could sell me something to come over to a person who's quarantined to sell me some herb. That's just not going to happen. And I don't know. It's, it's rough, man. I miss it. I miss it. I miss it.
I don't miss it so much, but definitely like hanging out at like just sitting on a porch or something with a shot, like with like a glass of whiskey
Mm-hmm.
and a cigar,
Yeah, man.
and just yelling at all the younglings to get off
Bruh.
our lawn.
Good times. Good times. Yeah, I remember back when I was still living in California, and me and a few of the boys, we used to every once in a while, like we would get cigars and high quality alcohol. I can't remember exactly what. I think it was probably scotch or something. And we just sit out on the porch on a hot summer's day and like watch like while the sun's going down and light up nice cigars and puff on them and drink it, whatever the hell it was we were drinking. And it was fun. I miss it. I miss it. But yeah, man, someday we'll hang out and have a cigar or something. That'd be fun. It's been a long
Yeah.
time. But yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely like it's funny because I've thought about like maybe I should just do edibles only or something, but it's like nah, like something about like I don't know, like I
You want to
was
feel the burn in your lungs.
yeah, well like it's really funny
Like,
because I've
you
never
know that shit's bad for you, especially you with your lungs.
oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
you definitely the feel
Mhm.
as it goes down, and like that
Mhm.
little bit of burn as it comes back out.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, no, like there's an experience that non-smokers don't have never gotten, and therefore have no way of understanding.
Well, it's really weird because I've always been totally convinced that like I've never been addicted to like nicotine or tobacco, but I've always had like the addiction to the process of smoking something, you know? Like and because like for example, like I've quit cigarettes and I have not touched tobacco in a pretty long time at this point. Like I quit smoking tobacco around the time that Mike was first attempting to quit tobacco, and I held pretty strong with it. And I fell back a couple times. Like I definitely was like there were like maybe I think two times where I was like, well, I have this tobacco and might as well roll it. Like like
This shit won't smoke
sure,
itself.
yeah, but like I've never like and every once in a while I do get cravings for it, but like I've never felt like I was like, "Oh my god, if I don't smoke something, I'm going to die." Like usually it's like my body will be like, "Bro, you totally want to smoke something." And then my brain's like, "Yeah, but I don't have anything to smoke." And my body's just like, "Oh, okay." And then that's the end of it. So but the process of smoking is something I really enjoy. So it's just like I feel like that I could probably smoke a cigar and then be fine, and then not touch tobacco for like a year. So, you know,
Right.
it's just yeah. I wish I had a dealer. I don't.
I've I've bounced it back, like, because I haven't smoked herbs since uh like I was 16, 17.
Hmm. Do you think you'd want to get back into it or no?
I've I've thought about it, like,
Mhm.
and it definitely will be like one of the things I do if it ever becomes legal.
Hmm. That's how I feel where I am
Yeah,
too.
if it ever gets legalized, I'll give it like another go to see if it, to see if it does anything for me again.
Hmm.
Because that was the that was the thing was is it's like I'm smoking this, but I don't feel anything.
Hmm. I've always had like a pretty low tolerance to herb. Um, it
You,
always hits me, huh?
I said I would imagine you probably have a low tolerance to everything.
I do. I get drunk really fast too, but I also sober up really fast.
Yeah, that's the trade-off.
Mm-hmm. But yeah,
Cheap date.
whenever I partake in um any kind of, drug, honestly, it hits me like an oncoming train, like very, very hard, very fast, with very little of it. So I usually always try to be careful or take, things like that in moderation. And I'm not a very, when I was a teenager, I definitely, well, I mean, more like when I was in college age, like in my early 20s, I tried a lot of different things. Um, but never felt like I wanted to do, like, a lot of the things that I tried, were like, okay, I did it. I'm good. Like, that was my experience with a lot of that stuff. And honestly, it's, herb is the only one that I feel like I can keep coming back to. Um, I did drink a lot of alcohol when I was younger, but I'm not really as into it as I used to be. Not for the purpose of, like, I like to enjoy a drink with the friends here and there, or just casually, like, if, like I said, I usually have to be with family or friends if I want to drink something.
Oh, I prefer to be alone when I drink.
Yeah, I know you do.
I have a problem.
You prefer to just be drinking, bro. But I mean, it's all good. I mean, I definitely don't judge you for it. It's like, I mean, you live your life, you live your best life, man. Like,
Yeah,
I love you no matter what you doing, bro. Um,
that's not true, but
well, I
you
mean,
judge me. You judge me a little bit
for what?
for for being such a successful alcoholic.
In all honesty, I don't really think about like your I don't really think about you drinking, like, ever. The only time, like, I ever even think about you drinking is when you tell me that you're drinking. And
Yeah,
then usually, like, especially when it's on the podcast, I usually forget. Like, I like, you'll be like drinking and you'll tell me you're drinking at the beginning of the podcast, and then I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then I usually forget. So,
I've
um
I've learned to I've learned to cope better.
mhm.
So it's just a a defense mechanism. I'll be like buzzing out of my mind like I am right now,
Mhm.
and because I got some Barks root beer,
Mhm.
and Barks root beer and vanilla crown is amazing.
See, even just like, for example, right now, I am only just now finding out that you're drinking, like, and it's
Oh,
fine.
because I hadn't told you.
You didn't mention it to me earlier.
No, I didn't mention it to you earlier because I didn't think I had drunk that much.
Yeah. And
And this wasn't a get wasted drink. This was a enjoy.
nightcap.
This well, no, this was actually just like what I poured with my dinner, and I just sipped on it,
Yeah.
and I'm a little buzzed. But there's been some times where I've been on this podcast where I've been hella buzzed.
Well, usually you tell me, like, before we start, because I think that.
I've only told you about a third of the time.
Oh, okay.
I
I
don't
mean,
I
yeah.
don't announce it unless I don't announce it if unless I am planning on refilling in the middle of the
One
in the
time
middle.
we did that one podcast where you basically told me you were blasted.
Oh yeah, no. I didn't have to do crap the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if I don't have to do crap the next day, I'm gonna get blasted.
Yeah.
That was me. That was me getting on my Christmas vacation.
Mhm. Yeah, it really doesn't bother me. Like, I mean, the only time that, like, stuff like that bothers me is when, because, like, I actually had an experience that was that actually, like, proved that, like, stuff like that can bother me. But it's only if you're, like, being a obnoxious asshole who can't control himself, at, like, in the sense of, like, not your stereotypical asshole-ish self, Mr. Lettuce, but I mean, like, One of the examples that I can think of is,
Belligerent assholery. My assholery is for good.
yeah, I used to play D&D with somebody who, before we would do our D&D games, me and the boys, we would all get together and we'd be drinking. We'd have a few drinks and then we'd play some D&D. And we had one guy who was on our D&D team, and he would just get uncontrollably blasted right before we would start our D&D game. And with how absolutely uncontrollably wasted he was, like, we couldn't play, because it then became like we were just babysitting, this guy who was uncontrollably wasted. So, like, that's the kind of thing where, if that's the kind of person you're going to be, then it's like, that's not something I want to do or be a part of.
Oh,
But
if I'm that person, I'm alone.
yeah.
If I think there's any chance that I'm letting myself go to that extent,
Mhm.
like no one's around me.
Yeah. It's like, and that's like the only time, like, I would be like genuinely like concerned, or like being like, okay, this is not okay, because we got in his face about it. We were like, we told the guy, we were like, you can't do this anymore. And eventually we just had to kick him out because he kept doing it.
Right. I get a lot of flack from people who are like, you're not even really an alcoholic, man.
Mhm.
I'm like, I've seen you not drink for days.
Mhm.
And I'm like, yeah, because it's stuff I have to do.
Got shit to do, man.
I have shit to do. I can't afford to get wasted. And they're like, yeah, but most alcoholics. I was like, no, just because I'm able to control it
Uh-huh.
doesn't mean it's not there.
Yeah.
The first thing I do when I get an opportunity is I pour a drink.
Mhm.
Like it is what it is. And they're like, I don't think you're addicted. I've never seen you put. I was like, because I've learned, over the time I've learned how to control myself,
Mhm.
and I know if I'm heading into the direction where I think I'm going to get there, no one is around me.
Mhm.
I don't want to see. I don't want people to see me all fucked up.
Mhm. Yeah. I
Like no one.
mean,
I don't want. No one wants to be seen at their most vulnerable and shit like that. So
I when I was younger and I used to get drunk at parties, I had a very weird thing about being wasted, but also having enough self-awareness that I never wanted people to see me puke. So, like, like, I have some memories of like being totally wasted, and being in a conversation with somebody while totally wasted, and I would be like right in the middle of the conversation. I'd be like, "Excuse me for a minute. I have to go use the bathroom so that I may puke my guts out." And I would just like run to the bathroom and be throwing up for like an hour.
had a friend completely destroy another friend's bathroom because he got blackout drunk on Goldschlager.
Oh god.
Oh, he can't. He it got so bad like he can't do cinnamon nothing anymore. Like you like put a cinnamon candy underneath his nose, and he pukes up a little bit.
Wow.
Um, like just coated. You know how like a half bath, like somebody's half bath, like it's just a toilet and a sink,
Yeah. Yeah.
glazed the floor, fully glazed the floor with very gold sparkly vomit.
Oh no.
My worst alcohol story was uh this is I don't touch tequila because of this. Because
Mhm.
tequila is like the only thing that ever gets me like really messed up, like uncontrollably messed up. So I don't touch tequila anymore.
Mhm.
I was drinking and we were drinking and somebody brought over a like really terrible cheap Long Island iced tea mix,
Mhm.
like the bad Mexican kind that's tequila like everything Mexican. You throw in a bot pitcher and you mix it together,
Mhm.
and it's supposed to be delicious Long Island iced tea, except for it tasted like varnish. So no one wanted to drink it because it tasted like, paint thinner.
Right.
So I grabbed I'd take like the entire punch bowl, put it inside like one of those like fat mug, like those like large travel mugs that are
Mm-hmm.
like 100 ounces.
Like a big gulp.
Yeah, like a big gulp.
Mm-hmm.
I dumped the whole thing in and I'm just sitting there all night sucking on it. And I finish it and I'm like feeling nauseous and dizzy and like the hottest I have ever felt. And I live in the South, man. This is
Yeah.
this is quite impressive that, in the middle of the night in like I believe this is like January or February.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the middle of the night, January, I feel like I have like second-degree burns all over my body. So I go to this person and I was like, dude, is it okay if I use a towel of yours and, you know, just take a cold shower because I feel like uncontrollably hot right now. I need to take like a cold shower in your shower. He's like, okay. And I'm in the shower and I just boot all into the bathtub. Thankfully, you know, it wasn't very chunky and it all kind of drained. But I boot like the most like just violent productive boot I have ever booted in my entire life. It's like it's coming out of my nose.
Oh God.
And my mouth.
I love the visual,
And
the
then
image that you're painting for me and the viewers here, buddy.
yeah, and then I pass out. And I fall over and rip his shower curtain off, and like destroy his shower curtain and his shower rod because apparently I just collapsed. The loud thud. They heard the loud thud and they came up to check on me. So everybody has seen me like how like everybody see me in the shower. I mean, these people were the first to see me in a shower, and they saw more than just a nip.
They see your basketball.
Yeah. So that is the worst I'd ever gotten drunk at like in public. And I replaced the shower curtain, the shower rod. I felt really bad about it. And that's like the last time I ever like really like went past, like I know I have a limit, and that was the last time I just went past my limit, regardless of whether or not it was just going to waste alcohol.
I one time got so drunk at a party that I couldn't stand up anymore, and I started crawling around on the floor at the party on all fours, and I was yelling at the top of my lungs that I was a lizard and making sure everybody knew that I was a lizard. And then at some point I grabbed somebody's foot and licked their foot. And then at some point I blacked out, and then I woke up in a shower drenched in cold water with penises drawn all over my body in black Sharpie. And for some reason I was wearing a poncho and no pants. So
that's not the worst. That's not the worst thing that has ever happened to somebody drunk.
Yeah,
around me. Like having penises drawn on you, that's nothing. I had a friend who got like stupid drunk.
Mm-hmm.
I told him his hot dog is missing.
What?
He said, it's like, I don't know. He told me like something like, I don't know, but I think I'm kind of hungry. I was like, oh, that's unfortunate, dude, because your hot dog is missing. So I told him, he goes like, he looks at me like really concerned. I was like, yeah, your hot dog, man, it's not here. So he goes out the back door looking for his hot dog. About 10 minutes pass, and people go, have you seen this guy? And I'm like, yeah, he went out back looking, he went outside looking for his hot dog. And I think he just probably passed out in the backyard. So they looked in the backyard for him. He wasn't there. 3 hours later, he turns up halfway across, like on the other side of town, just walking aimlessly. looking for his hot dog.
That poor guy.
I bought him a hot. I took him to Sonic. The next day I took him to Sonic and bought him a hot dog. I felt really bad about that.
Good for you, man. You did the right thing.
After doing the wrong thing, how was I supposed to know he was just gonna start walking in one direction? I'm glad he didn't hurt himself because he was bad off.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't get pulled over.
Drunk and disorderly.
Well, this was a college campus right next to a couple of high school, campuses, and this was like right after Combine. So there was a lot of street patrols.
Sure.
In that neighborhood. I'm surprised a cop didn't pick him up for drunken disorderly conduct. I guess he was really quiet about being drunk.
He was so intently searching for his hot dog that it
didn't occur to him to go, here, hot dog, hot dog, here, wiener.
Oh, wiener.
Have you seen my wiener?
What was the movie where the guy is like dressed up in a hot dog suit and he's like, ask me about my wiener?
Oh, that was Accepted.
Yeah, that's it. Oh,
and that was funny Jonah Hill.
Yeah. Ask me about my wiener.
The Mac guy, and it had Lewis Black in it.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite like not well known movies of all time.
Oh yeah, that's the one about the where he opens a college that's not actually a college, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie was surprisingly good. I like that one.
Southampton Institute of Technology.
Yeah. Ask me about my win. And then they have the guy who's like, where he's like, because he's interviewing every single person, and then being like, yeah, you've been accepted. And he gets the one guy, and he's like, what do you want to do? And he's like, I want to blow up people's heads with my mind. He's like, all right, I think we got a space for you.
Write it down.
That movie was good. I missed that movie, man. It's been so long.
I have that on DVD. I think I have that in a Blu-ray or DVD somewhere.
That's a good one. That's what was the name of that guy? The main character? I forgot his name. I like that actor. Well, sometimes I like that actor. Sometimes I like him.
I mean, I can't think of a bad role he's ever done.
Well,
Justin Long, by the way.
Yeah. The thing about, so I have a thing where it's like, I get really weird about actors that always play themselves in movies, because it's like, sometimes you can be like Ryan Reynolds, where Ryan Reynolds just plays Ryan Reynolds, and that's great,
I don't know if Justin Long always plays Justin Long.
I feel like he does. He's one of those guys like that always plays kind of this, like, I can't think of.
I mean, he's typecast occasionally, but he has played different types of roles. I mean, he was a gay guy in Zack and Miri Make a Porno. I mean, I guess that was him playing him.
Oh yeah, I guess, but he was kind of like, I guess he was a little different in that one, huh? Because he was like more of like he was kind of like sleazy but suave in that movie, right? Yeah, which is a bit different for him. So you know what? I think you're right. I might just be misremembering.
But yeah, the Brandon St. Randy character from Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah,
and okay.
I guess I'm just not giving him enough credit.
He was the voice of Alvin in the Alvin and the Chipmunk movies.
Wait, he was? Really? I did not know that.
Yeah, that he was Alvin.
I've never seen the Alvin and the Chipmunk movies.
He was in Kevin Smith's horror movie Tusk.
Never saw that. Yeah. Well, I definitely
I do like Justin Long. He's pretty good.
Yeah. He was he in Waiting. Was he in Waiting? Wasn't he the main character in Waiting? Was that him?
Mm, I don't know what movie Waiting is.
It's the Waiting is one of my favorite movies. It's a gross comedy about working in a chain restaurant. It's like it's like a spoof on like working at like basically like a Denny, not a Denny's, but like working at an Applebee's basically.
No, that wasn't. That wasn't. Oh no, he wasn't the star, but he was in it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
The star was Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Ryan Reynolds played a character in that movie, but okay, so I guess he was one of the two main characters. There's like a
Right,
couple. Yeah.
right. There
Um
was there. It actually like Ryan Reynolds did play like a bunch of Van Wilder type characters for a
yeah.
while there.
Yeah, he
Like
did.
that was one of his typecasts. Was he ended up spending a lot of time.
He played
Um,
frat boys.
yeah, he played a lot of frat boys and Van Wilder types.
Mhm. I think if I remember correctly, Waiting was the first movie that I ever saw Ryan Reynolds in. And I love that movie. I love Waiting. It's one of my favorites. Um, that movie is like I always tell people that it's like, every person should see that movie to like learn like why you should be, polite and appropriate in restaurants when and dealing with like, food industry and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
I definitely. Uh, yeah, so yeah, he ends up. He was in Adventureland.
Never saw that.
That was a good movie.
Was The Rock in that?
I don't remember. It was another Jesse Eisenberg movie
Mm,
about working in an amusement park.
interesting. Never saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but Ryan Reynolds is a national treasure. Justin Long is a good actor.
Yeah.
Lewis Black was amazing and accepted.
Yeah, he was. He was the guy who would sit on the lawn chair and people would just like sit around him and listen to him
The
talk
the
about
act
whatever he felt like.
the actual professor that got the college accredited.
Yeah, yeah. That was good. God, I want to see that movie now. It's been so long. I think it's literally been like maybe 10 years since the last time I saw that movie. It's a good one. Should do like a Justin Long marathon. Just find all the best movies that he's ever been in and just watch them back to back.
It's like that's like 3 movies though. Justin Long doesn't necessarily get all the good movies.
Well, like I said, I liked him in Waiting. We just mentioned Accepted. Um, Zach and Miri Make a Porno, and I thought that was a good movie, and he's in that.
Yeah, but he's a cameo there.
But he's still in it, so I mean it counts.
I mean, if you're counting cameos, then that feels counting. I think counting cameos is kind of
A
a weird
stretch.
thing. Yeah, it's kind of a stretch. Um, he was in Wake Up Ron. He was in Wake Up Ron Burgundy, the Lost Movie, the direct to DVD Ron Burgundy sequel.
Weird. I didn't even know that was the thing.
Hmm.
God, the first Anchorman is so good. I miss that movie.
Yeah, yeah, it was.
And
I mean, he was in Idiocracy.
oh, that's right. He was in Idiocracy. Holy crap, that's a movie I have not thought about in a super duper long time. I think you can watch that for free on YouTube.
Possibly.
Yeah. There was like a period of time where like
He played George Harrison in the Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story.
oh yeah. That's a great movie too. Or at least I thought it was a great movie. Man,
Oh, here's an underrated movie. It's like Seth Rogen's best movie ever. That Justin
Pineapple
Long was
Express.
that just no, that movie sucks. Seth
I
Rogen's
didn't like Pineapple Express. I was just bringing it up.
Seth, the best Seth Rogen movie, which was also like the third best Adam Sandler movie, Funny People.
Never saw that.
Oh, you got to watch it.
You know what I think is the best Seth Rogen movie?
Knocked Up.
Donnie Darko.
Was he in that?
Yeah, he was. He plays one of the school bullies. It's one of his earliest roles.
Uh
Ask me what the best Seth Rogen movie is. Nobody ever expects Donnie Darko.
never expected Donnie Darko. Man, but no, Funny People was like the epitome of the everybody who is sucked off Judd Apatow movie. Like, cause like look at the cast list. It got Sandler, Rogen, Leslie Mann, Jonah Hill, Jason Schwartzman, Aubrey Plaza's in this biatch.
Damn.
Um,
No wonder why it's called Funny People.
I mean, there's not a lot of. I mean, Aziz Ansari plays a decent role.
Oh, I can't stand that guy.
You don't like Aziz?
No, I don't. I
Oh, come
really
on! You don't love Randy?
No, I don't like Aziz Ansari. There was a period of time where he was so popular for a while, and I was like, I don't get it. I don't understand why everybody thinks this guy is so funny.
Aziz Ansari was like the last of the truly good, like I don't give comedians.
I never thought he was funny.
I mean, I guess you have the right to be wrong in your COVID addled state.
Shut up.
Okay, so like Parks and Recreation, like the reason why he's popular is because Parks and Recreation.
I don't like that show.
Well, this has been the
Yeah.
Imaginary Boys podcast.
Yeah.
Nobody's listening to Habanero's bullshit anymore.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for coming out and listening to us in my apparently COVID addled state, as Lettuce has so kindly put it.
Oh man, how can you? Like, you're gonna have to apologize for that, or you're gonna get
I'm not
canceled.
going to apologize for Aziz Ansari's bullshit.
No, for not liking Parks and Recreation, man.
Yeah, I don't like that show. I've never liked it. It's like, you know what? You can totally like it, and that's fine. I don't like it. I don't think it's very funny, but whatever.
Nick Offerman.
That's like when everybody talks about how great Community is. I don't like Community.
Like, I never got Community either.
Yeah, I don't like Community.
But like Nick Offerman is a national treasure. Like, when we lose, like,
you have a lot of national treasures, Mr. Lettuce.
I don't have that many national treasures, but Nick Offerman is definitely one of them. Like, when Nick Offerman dies, America dies.
All right. That just like Betty White, right?
No, but the thing is Betty White, like, isn't this country's spirit animal. She was a pure, kind-hearted woman for whom everybody would let sit. But she was not the soul and spirit animal of this great nation of ours. That is Nicholas Offerman.
Okay, man. All right. Well, we should wrap this up.
And then it's got Mario in it. Like, how?
I don't like Parks and Recreation, bro. I don't. You're allowed to like it. It's fine. It's okay. I mean, it's all right. Just don't like it.
I bet you didn't like Scrubs either.
I love Scrubs. Shut up. Was Parks and Recreation made by the creator of Scrubs?
No.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, because if it was, I guess you can't, win them all the time. But
no, the winner, the writer of Scrubs is writing something else now.
Probably.
He wasn't in Parks and Recreation. I think the Parks and Recreation people also did How I Met Your Mother.
That show was okay, but I got tired of it after a while.
Yeah, see, that's everybody's complaint. And then
Yeah.
and then you stuck around for the last season, and then you got pissed.
I actually never saw the final season.
Oh, congratulations! You
Yeah.
dodged a bullet.
It's
It's
doesn't
like,
he I think I heard that he hooks up with what's her face? The uh
okay, so spoilers.
it's I well I think I it's fine. We don't need to spoil the show. It's fine. But
Oh,
I think I know.
okay, so anybody who wants to see How I Met Your Mother and hasn't seen How I Met Your Mother yet, I'm sorry, but yeah, he meets the final season. He meets the mother.
The yellow umbrella chick.
Yeah, he meets the yellow umbrella chick, and he meets the mother. He
She like
spends
dies of cancer or something.
yeah. He the thing is like they spend like 2 episodes getting to know each other. They're at the end of the second episode, like at the end of the last episode, that entire relationship is boiled down to like a 10-minute montage where she dies, and he ends up hooking up with Robin anyway
Yeah, it's
at the
funny because
end.
I kept saying like I was thinking in my head, was her name Raven? It couldn't have been Raven. I know it
No,
was some
Robin.
bird.
It was Robin.
It was some bird of some sort.
I mean,
Um,
that was almost worse than the Lost ending.
yeah, it's whatever. But yeah, I did hear about that. I just didn't see it. I didn't see the last season because I didn't care. Like by the time like everybody was freaking out about the last season, I was out of it. I was like, I don't want to watch this show anymore. Like I stopped way before that.
Smart
Um,
call by my man.
well, it was
But
like the
anyway,
first the first like I want to say like 2 or 3 seasons were really fun, but
season 2 and season 3 were great.
yeah. But after
Like
that, I was
it
like, I don't
took
want to do this anymore.
it did take a full season for them to get under themselves to get under themselves.
Hmm. Well, there you go. We just for anybody who has never seen How I Met Your Mother, we are more than happy to ruin it for you. But
Yeah,
we're gonna end it here. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed this, and sorry that I am so gross and nasty right now, but hopefully very soon I will be all better. And
and next week we'll
uh,
bring the comedy.
years, because yeah, we like to pretend that we're funny, and
No, we're pretty funny. We make each other laugh.
yeah, that's true. I think if we can make each other laugh, that's probably good
We make
enough.
my girlfriend laugh.
There you go. That's that.
You tell the jokes. Me, I drop the trouser.
There you go. There you go. Um, but anyways, if you're brand new here, then go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button. Go ahead and ring a ding that bell. I suppose I hear it does something, but I'm not sure exactly what it does. Check in the description below for all the wonderful links such as PayPal and Streamlabs. All donations are greatly, hugely appreciated. Also, there's a link for Mr. Lettuce's channel in case you want to check him out. And wonderful shout out to the amazing Patreon members, which include Bo Falcon, Fajuk Enterprises, James P., Miss Rebecca, as well as Scorpa guys. Thank you guys so much for your regular donations. They're all greatly appreciated. And other than that, we have been the Imaginary Boys. Good night, everybody.